Stockpile Hobbies.
So while setting up the full-scale quarter-mile drag strip here, I wanted to take the opportunity to eliminate the plugs for the power supply and the controller. You can see I already did it over here. Nice clean look. So I want to replicate that over here for the other side of the track. So I thought I'd make a video about how to do that. So if we take a look underneath the track here, we can see that I spliced the power wire coming in, the red and black, and I put the red to the back rail as it would come over from the terminal, and the black wired into one end of the controller, then the other end of the controller returns and wires into the opposite rail, and that powers both rails. So we're going to do the exact same thing up here. I know that the notch here is the red wire usually. So the red wire here, just as in the other one, the long carrier powers the rail here. So I am going to solder the red lead there. And again with the black, I'm going to solder one end to the controller wire and the other end coming back from the controller into the other rail. The wire lead that goes to the notch on the plug, it will be the red wire. So we're going to snip the red here, give it a splice. So I'm going to hit the wire with some flux. And we're going to hit both joints while we're here for tinning. So I run my soldering iron at 325 degrees. Let that get up to temperature. I have some lead-free solder as well. Now I just add some solder to the iron and then just put it onto the wire. Add a little more if you need to. Now I'm going to do the same to the joints over here. You want to be quick with this part. You don't want to melt the plastic on the track. So underneath here, you can do whatever you want. You can do a similar type of connection, your own type of quick disconnect under here. I gotta run the wire through and pop it through the table first before I do my solder. I'm just gonna solder it in place right here. But if you want to do some type of quick connection under here for the two, by all means go ahead and do that for yourself. So of course the third time was a charm. This one actually went through all the way. This is a shallow one, so this will all be covered up by the track though. But I'm now going to feed my wire in through right here. And on the controller, go ahead and cut off the pigtail and strip one of these wires. This is also a good time to extend your controller if you want to. I have some 18 gauge speaker wire here, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to run a length down my drag strip to where I want to stand with the controller and give it a little slack. Cut that off and splice this in between the track and the controller. And then strip all ends of the extension. Here is the other side of it. And now go ahead and tin all these wires as well. Alright, so we're going to solder the red wire that we tinned to the inner rail on the top for this side here. Just like that. Looks good, no heat mark on the other side. So we want to send the black wire now up through the controller. So what we're going to do here is I spliced the controller. It doesn't matter which one is used. But I also spliced in, I'm going to splice in a extension as well. This is two ends of the same wire. See, they're both split. There's one's marked white and the other side's over here. So to do the controller extension, we are first going to run one of the extensions through to the black wire right now. So don't be an idiot like me and go through the whole video. Run one wire through but not the other. So I'm going to unsolder this now and run it up through the hole as well. I'm also going to put this in the front of the video before. You see I'm at the end here. I didn't run this wire up through the hole here. I'm doing that now. Make sure you do that. Run both wires of the extension up through the hole. So I'm wrapping the black power wire to the non-marked wire here on the controller extension. We're going to flux it. Have my heat shrink on. And now we're going to solder it. I don't know if I just recorded that or not. But anyways, just like doing the joint here, I wrapped both wires together, tinned it, wrapped both wires together, added flux, and then just added solder to it like I was tinning over here. So this wire, the non-marked one, will travel through and will come out over on the other end where it's not marked as well, which is right here. This guy here. We are now going to connect it to either end of the controller wire, doesn't matter which one. Like so right here. I'm going to add some flux to it. This is just exactly how I did the other joint. And as you see, I forgot my heat shrink. Apply some flux to the wires. Get some solder. Load up the iron. And rub it on. And let's move our heat shrink into place, but we're not going to heat it yet. Just in case something is wrong, we got to cut it, we can still have the heat shrink. That circuit now comes up through to the controller where you close the circuit, sends it back down the other wire, which we will now connect to the white wire that I have on my speaker wire. Now, before you go too far, it's a good time to also take this wire and run it up through the hole as well. This is the white wire. Alright, so we have the controller connected here to the white extension. Go ahead and tin it. That now has heat shrink, and we shall tin. Alright, so move your heat shrink into position. And I just went ahead and tinned the other end of the white wire that's coming up through the hole here. And we are going to solder it to the other joint right there. Alright, now with any luck, turn this back over. Power is on. Grab a car. There we go. Grab a fresh piece of tape here. You're going to want to cut it. You're not going to want to pull it and stretch it. Get it as long as you need it so it will cover the whole box. You do it in more than one strip as well. That looks good. Looks good. Cut that off as well. You can pull those back down through. Get all your stuff out of the way. And reconnect. So as we can see now, I have tons of cable here. I'm going to run this behind the track underneath, but we have our yellow car here, we have our quarter-mile strip, and very nice. And now, with that cool, clean look. So I hope this video helped you out. Please give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. Please subscribe to the channel, and keep having fun, everyone.